right, guys, welcome back. We're on Chapter 16, Part 2 of The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson. They are on their mission. Right now, they've gone over the ice bridge. They're heading here to the base of the mountains, but they have found some tracks that are wolf tracks, so it's a bit concerning. Okay? On page 149, second paragraph from the top. Is that why you haven't gone this way before? Eli asked. Because of the wolf, I mean? Ochek took a sip of his tea. When I came this way, a long time ago, trying to find more food for the village, I came across the bridge and the beast. I was too weak to try to fight it, so I left and never came back. It's interesting, he doesn't call it a wolf, he calls it a beast. Because if something happened to you, Mizwa wouldn't survive, Eli said. Hey, Ochek said. It was either be eaten or, if by some miracle I defeated the wolf, get over the mountains and probably find nothing but white. Then I'd have no strength to get back. The outcome would be death, no matter what. Is the wolf a two-legged animal? Morgan asked. It was walking on 4 legs, Eli said, judging by the tracks. It was walking on 4 legs when I saw it before, too, Ochek said. We can do that, though, if we like, Eric pointed out. And so Eric is saying, well, you know, us walking beasts, upright beasts, or upright beings of animals, we can also walk on all 4 legs. So that doesn't mean that this wolf can't walk upright or can't talk. We can do that too, though, if we like, Eric pointed out. Yes, we can. Ochek took a bite of dried meat. I know it's not from Mizwa, and that's all. If it can walk on 2 legs, then can it talk? Is that right? Is 2 legs better than 4? Or maybe it's the other way around, Morgan asked. I don't know. Ochek put the last bite into his mouth and chewed it thoughtfully. If it can talk, it can think to set some kind of trap for us. If it can't, it will go on instinct, and I'm not sure that's better. Should we just sit here and wait for it to kill us then? Morgan immediately wished that she hadn't asked the question. What if they agreed? Then what? Leave in the middle of the night? The dark made her feel empty, lost, afraid. 1 wolf won't take on a group of 4. When it was only me, that was different, Ochek said. We'll be safe tonight, and we need the rest. Morgan felt relieved. With no wind pummeling their hut, the occasional sound was more pronounced. The crackling of the fire, one of the 4 chewing meat or slurping broth or tea. Yawns. One time, Eli shifted his body, and his back brushed against the hut. Morgan jumped because it sounded like something was outside. Eli admitted it had been him and received a light punch on the arm. When the fire died down and the meal was done, it was quiet. But even though she was bone-tired, Morgan couldn't sleep. She couldn't stop picturing a wolf charging into the tent, its teeth bared. She needed a distraction. She forced her thoughts away from the predator and searched for any topic at all that would keep her mind occupied, at least for the night. The question she had earlier then occurred to her. Do you ever go north? To the woods, you mean? Ochek asked, propping his head up, eager to talk. Perhaps he couldn't sleep either. In fact, they all rolled onto their sides, eyes wide open. Yeah, Morgan said. I mean, that's all I could see north of Mizwa anyway. No, Ochek said. We don't go into those woods. So what Morgan is talking about is here's Mizwa, and she's saying, do you ever go here to north? Okay, here's our compass rose. The direction of north is this way. She's like, do you ever go there? There's a big forest there. Maybe there's animals to eat, right? No, Ochek said. We don't go into those woods." "There could be lots of animals to catch there, though, right?" she asked. "I doubt it," Eric said. "Why?" Morgan asked. "Because of the barren grounds?" "It's not the barren grounds," Ochek explained. "It's what's beyond the great tree." Morgan leaned forward, waiting for Ochek to elaborate. He didn't. "What's beyond the great tree besides woods?" she asked. "More wolves?" Ochek exchanged a glance with Eric. Morgan tried to read into it, but couldn't. "Hello," Morgan said. "You're fantasy creatures, not mystery characters." "Stop it," Eli said. "They obviously don't want to tell us." "Oh, come on," Morgan said. "We're risking our lives for them, and they can't tell us what's in a stupid forest?" "You don't need to know everything all the time," he said. "Yes, I do," she said. "And if we get through this and keep living together, you better just accept that about me." "Oh, I like her," Eric said to Ochek. "Thank you," Morgan said. "Look." Ochek paused and breathed hard through his nose. "There is a giant in those woods. The oldest two-legged one on a sky." "A giant?" "Mistapu," Eric whispered, as if saying its name out loud might summon it. Morgan had been scared of the wolf, but by the looks on the animal beings' faces to them, Mistapu made the wolf seem like a bunny rabbit. "Aren't you going to tell me what that means in Cree?" Morgan asked Eli. "Ochek just said it. Giant," Eli said. "Oh, of course," Morgan said. "Of course, stupid me." "There are stories of a time when a group of villagers crossed the barren grounds to hunt," Ochek began. "They set up a camp outside the forest, at the base of the great tree, ready to enter the northern woods the next day. In the dead of night, Mistapu came into their hut. Though it's a giant, it moves like a ghost, and even the best hunters didn't hear it. It took the soul of an elder. Wait, I'm going to check the pronunciation. Kiu, eagle. It took the soul of an elder, Kiu, and warned the others never to return. We never have." "What happened to Kiu?" Eli asked. A tear fell from Ochek's eye. "He never woke up." "Wait a second," Morgan said. "What do you mean it took Kiu's soul? How? Where did it put his soul?" "Nobody knows," Ochek said. "But that's what Mistapu does. It takes your soul and leaves only flesh and bones behind. What makes you who you are is gone, and you are left in a dreamless sleep until you pass away." "Like a coma," Morgan said. "What if you found his soul?" Eli asked. "Then it would be released," Ochek said, "and he would travel into the happy hunting grounds." "That doesn't sound so happy," Morgan grumbled. "Have you even looked for the soul?" Eli asked. Ochek shook his head solemnly. The fire reflected in his eyes. "We've never gone back to the northern woods, only to the tree line. That's how I was able to find you at the great tree." Not another word was said that night. Even Eric had nothing smart to say after Ochek's story, and Morgan wanted to know nothing more about the northern woods or Mistapu. Eli added the last of the wood to the fire so that it would burn out during the night, leaving embers to keep them warm until morning. Morgan was distracted from the wolf, just as she'd wanted to be, but her plan had backfired. She did not sleep any better. She just stared into the fire, and at some point, as the flames died, her conscience mercifully slipped away with them. All right. Oh my goodness. So the characters or the creatures or the beings that we're learning about in the book are becoming more and more. So there's this wolf that is huge, and what we know about it is it walks on 4 legs, but we don't know if it doesn't have the ability to walk on 2 legs. So there's that. So that has them scared. So Morgan decides, well, I'm just going to ask about the northern woods and how come they don't go there, to get my mind off of this wolf, and learns that in the northern woods there's a giant that lives there, and it stole the soul out of one of the elders of the Mizawa village, out of the eagle. And Eagle never woke up after that because his soul was gone. So more unsettling thoughts, and hard to fall asleep after that stuff, but thankfully she was able to. All right, guys, take care. See you for chapter 17.